Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chapter 2 of this course. I want to show you the process that we will utilize in order to go through the assignment. You will launch the Chapter 2 reading assignment. And in that assignment, you will see for this chapter, we're going to create our own QuickBooks. Everyone was sent an email that you can accept, and it will then process or show you exactly how you will create the link to get into QuickBooks. Accept the invitation as is shown here, and then from there you will, on the Intuit account sign up screen, enter your information and choose a password. Now this first company, we're going to use your first name, your last name, and the word sales and service. Okay? So, in order to create your QuickBooks account, you'll have to enter some information. Make sure you save that password. Okay? Make sure you write down your user ID and your password. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and log into QuickBooks, so that way you will be able to experience. I'm going to use the name Nancy Shoemake, Sales and Service. And then from there, it will run through a couple items, and they're a little different from the book because things are fluid and they will change since the book has been published. But just hang in there with me. Nancy Shoemake, Sales and Service. You will also do the same regarding processing, going through this. You're just getting started. Describe your work. I'm just going to say sales and servicing. And from there, the business has been in under a year. Is it an LLC? No, it is not. It is an S Corp. And just hit next. Industry, we'll skip that for now. We're the bookkeeper. No, it's not our main source of income. And a few partners, and we plan to hire in the future is what they requested that we click. We're going to skip this for now. And what do we want to do in QuickBooks? We can just click the Send and Track Invoices right now. Click on it. And I'm just, again, going to skip this for now because there's so much we're going to go over in all of these future chapters. So primarily what we're trying to do there is just sign in, create your account, and we're going to start with a business called your first name and your last name, sales and service. That's the key we're going to focus on right now. So let me see if I can get Nope, that's not what I want. There we go. So you will go through this first section just as I did. I didn't click on all of these because they're a little different in QuickBooks than what it shows in the book, and we can go over those at another time. Okay? So as we look here, under Accounts and Setting, to check your company name, we're going to click on the gear tool, and we're going to go to Accounts and Settings. So the gear tool, under Accounts and Settings, okay? In the company name field, click the pencil icon to edit, okay? It says to us, refer to Figure 211 to make sure your first, last name, sales and service is the company name. So we can click on the icon, and we want to make sure, I don't know, same as company name. I'll just put it in here again. Nancy Shoemake, Sales and Service. That is going to be the company name. Okay? Yeah, sorry. I'm just going to click out of that one. That's going to be the company name, and then we're going to save it. In the company type field, we'll click the edit box, and in the tax form field, make sure it shows a small business corporation. So in the company type, if we click that, we want to make sure it shows small business corporation. And we can also save that. Okay. In the company address field, we're going to click the edit pencil, and we're going to add this 2905 East Skyline Drive. So in the company address, we're going to put in 2905 East Skyline Drive. Tucson, Arizona. $85718. Make sure I've got that right. And then from there, we will save that. Okay? As we move on, we're going to check the subscription date status. Select Billing and Subscription. The free subscription end date will be shown. Your free ends on may be a different date. So we'll look at the subscription data. We go back here. Accounts and Settings. Oh, here it is, subscription data. So there, I'm just going to hit done. Okay. At the bottom of the account and settings page. We'll click Done, and the dashboard overview, I'm just going to click on that, and I'll click on this business overview. That will come up. Okay? As we move on to the next page, QuickBooks is dynamic and is updated a lot. Updates can also change the textbook illustrations as we are becoming aware. So when changes occur, students should think deeply and be flexible when figuring out the differences between the software interface and the textbook steps, which is also why I'm going to provide you with these lectures so it can be a fairly smooth class for you guys, knowing that the software may change. Okay, guys, we are going to, in the dashboard, we're going to select the business overview, and this just gives us a snapshot. You see how you have the dashboard, and you can do the overview or get things done. We are in the business overview that provides us with a snapshot of our newly found business. In the navigation bar, which is on the left-hand side, this is where we can access different tasks. If we add and click on New, this is used for creating invoices, adding expenses, and journal entries, as you see here. All kinds of things we can do. Okay? We can also look at My Experts, which can provide us with some guidance. We can request help. Now, as you see here, the question mark is used for self-help. If you have a question, type in the keywords. Okay? How do you create a journal entry online? You can access that and get guidance. But in the search field, we're going to type videos. So in this search field, we'll type videos. I guess it is not available at this moment. But if you go back and type videos, you will get a list of videos that come up that help you understand processing QuickBooks. You can also search through the hourglass. So through this hourglass, you can also request information. Again, the purpose here is to just give you a familiarization of the software. The bell will show notifications. So here, where you see the bell, if there needs to be some notifications for you to complete, it will allow you to be aware of that. Otherwise, this gear icon brings you back to a list of, it's a great place to go to several different sources within QuickBooks. Okay, guys. When you want to sign out, you click on your initial. QuickBooks updates interface elements and can add features and user functions. So again, if in doubt, just request go to help. Now we're going to look at, in this area, the gear, the account and settings. Okay, so we're going to go to the gear, then we're going to go to account and settings. Okay. The account and settings page appears. We'd select company to make any changes. In the company field, we wanted again the name of the business. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to click Sales down here. And you see sales in the form content. Click the Edit button. We should have shipping on, and custom transaction numbers should be on. So what that means is here where we click, sales, I want to, I don't know why that is, get out of there. Okay, so our sales here, accounts and settings, go to sales. I want to get my edit pencil. Our shipping should be turned on. Okay? And they also ask that our custom transaction numbers are also turned on. Okay, as you see here. Okay, then we will click Save. Next, we will go to Products and Services. We will then go down here to Products and Services, click on the Edit button, and it says we should show Product Service column on the sales forms, and we should track quantity, price, rate, and inventory on hand. So we want to make sure this is on, the quantity, price, and we want to turn on tracking. These three items need to be on. And we will click OK. Track inventory quantity on hand will also turn on show items table on expense and purchase forms. It's OK. We click OK. Read the information explaining turn on tracking inventory, and that just came on my screen. Now we're going to go to the expense section, and we're going to check bills and expenses and purchase orders. So in the bills section, let me get back here. Oh, I guess I need to go to expenses. Sorry, guys. Bills and expenses. Let's see what they want on. We want the top two on and using purchase orders on. So we have the top two on, and we also show we're going to use purchase orders here. Okay? Then we go to payments. I'm going to save that. We're going to go to payments. It says here, we can learn more, QuickBooks payments, or an existing account. Under this select payments, we can go to select advanced. So select payments. We're going to go down here to advanced. Okay. It says in the chart of accounts, click the pencil to enable account numbers and to show account numbers. Chart of accounts. We're going to enable account numbers. and we're going to show account numbers. So both of those are clicked on. Okay? On the advanced page, in the Other Preferences area, click on the pencil to turn on the warnings and increase Sign Me Out if inactive for over 3 hours. In the advanced page, Other Preferences, I didn't save, so I needed to save. Sorry about that, guys. So, in the Other Preferences section, it asks, warn if duplicate check numbers are used, warn if I enter a bill that's already been used, warn if a duplicate journal number is entered, and sign me out if inactive after 3 hours. Okay? Now, you can sign out or you can continue on. So, the chart of accounts we're going to load for our particular company. These accounts are used to categorize transactions on everything from sales forms to reports and tax forms. When an account is created, you choose a broad category or account type, and then you select detail information. The detail type assigns the account into a subcategory in order to have it appear in the correct place according to generally accepted accounting principles. For example, all cash and cash equivalents get grouped together on the balance sheet under assets, and the subcategory is current assets. We need to choose the correct categories in the correct positions on the balance sheet or on the profit and loss statement. So we are going to import our chart of accounts from chapter 2. So a lot of people are going to go, how do I get there? Where's the chart of accounts? I'm going to show you that, guys. In our book, if you scroll down here to additional student resources and you click on those additional student resources, you should see on page 591 additional student resources. We can import. Where you see import, do you see here it says chapter 2 chart of accounts? Okay, so we can import our chapter 2 chart of accounts. See that? This is what we're going to use to import. How do you do that? You file. You save this in an area on your computer you'll have access to. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to browse. I'm going to save it in my classroom here, computerized accounting, chart of accounts. I'm going to save it. Okay? Now, 2 things we're going to do. We're going to go back to, if I can find, did I lose it? I'm going to go back to my book and go back to roughly page 36 or 37. I don't remember quite where we were, but 37, okay? So what I'm going to do is in my QuickBooks, and let me just go back to this page and show. We're going to go back into QuickBooks. You're going to sign in if you have signed out. And in the gear, import data, we'll upload the chapter 2. So we're going to go to our gear. I didn't mean to sign out. Our gear, import data, chart of accounts. If I browse, I should access this chart of accounts. Okay? Again, the most important thing is you've got to save it to your hard drive so you can go and find it and bring it in. Now, here is what shows up. Where you map the data. Map your fields to the QuickBook fields. Okay? Click Next. And on the 12 accounts that are ready to be imported, we're going to uncheck the default accounts. So we're going to hit Next. We're going to uncheck some default accounts. We're going to uncheck 105. Okay. We're going to uncheck 137, 201, and 301. It says here, due to updates, the default chart of accounts may change. We can edit these accounts and then add new ones. So on the next one, we're going to click Import. Eight accounts were successfully imported. Okay. Now the pop-up message shows 8 accounts were imported. After importing the chart of accounts, we'll hit the gear icon and we're going to go look at those chart of accounts. So we'll go to the gear icon and we're going to look at those chart of accounts. Okay. Edit default accounts. When you set up QuickBooks, a default chart of accounts is also set up. As of this book, edit the accounts in the steps that follow. Be flexible. Due to the updates, many accounts might be needed to be edited or added. Figure 2-38 shows the chart of accounts. So basically, this is showing you we can go to the equity section, select Run the Report. In the account number field, type 318. Observe that retained earnings is included in the balance sheet. So let's go and do this. If needed, select the Gear, Chart of Accounts. On retained earnings row, select Run Report. Gear, Chart of Accounts. On the retained earnings, Let me just make sure I'm doing it as they recommend. Equity, retained earnings. I went there. I went to chart of accounts. On the retained earnings row, select run reports. Let me go down here to the retained earnings row. Let me see if I am frozen out. Going to go down to retained earnings. Retained earnings, here we go. I'm going to run report. Okay. Retained earnings should be account number 318. I'm quite not seeing what I'm looking for. Edit. That's what I needed to do. I needed to edit it and make that account 318. Okay. Click Save because the QuickBooks updates, this list will change. If an account needs to be added, click New. If a default account exists, a pop-up message, something's not quite right, appears. So what we want, what if I do not have these same default accounts? In the next section, it'll show us how to add these accounts. So these are the accounts we want to have. 105, 115 for merchandise, accumulated depreciation, 137. I think I've got too many accounts here, but we'll go back and make it happen here. So here are the various accounts that we want. On the chart of accounts page, if we want to add accounts, we're going to select New, and we're going to add these two following accounts. So we'll go to the chart of accounts, we're going to hit New, and we're going to add two new accounts. The first one we're going to add is an asset. Under Other Current Assets, we're going to call it Prepaid Expenses, and the name is Prepaid Rent. So under Assets, under Other Assets, we're going to find prepaid expense, New account screen is assets. Save it under other current assets. So I need to do other current assets. Okay. The tax form section is prepaid expenses, and we're going to call this prepaid rent. And this account is going to be number 123. Okay? We're going to save that. We're going to do another new under liabilities, other current liabilities, loan payable, liabilities, other current liabilities, loan payable, and we're going to call this loan payable account number 205. Okay. What is the difference between view register and run report? The view register are the balance sheet accounts. Run report accounts are the profit and loss statement. Make sure the account numbers, name, and account type and detail type match what is shown in figure 238A. Okay, so we need to go back and make sure in this figure account, or in this list right here, let me just, here, excuse me, here's the figure that we want to match our books. So we want to show this chart of accounts. So we see for cash, we have our correct number 101. Accounts receivable, we should be at 105. We don't have an accounts receivable here. So we're going to need to edit this accounts receivable to 105. We've got merchandise inventory of 115. So I'm going to get rid of some of these after the fact, though. We've got merchandise inventory. Let me just save that. Okay. I'd like to edit which accounts I want to make inactive. I can do in a minute here. Merchandise inventory needs to be at 115. Do we see merchandise inventory? To put that at 115, let me just cancel that. So I'm going to try to just find merchandise inventory. I don't see that particular account. So I'm going to go to a new, and here under merchandise inventory, it's going to be an other current asset under inventory. So under asset, other current asset, I'm going to put in, this is inventory. I'm going to put in merchandise inventory. and that account is 115. Okay. Then I'm going to look and see prepaid rent. I believe we already did that. Prepaid insurance is going to be 125. Prepaid rent, we have prepaid insurance in here, 125. We also show uncategorized asset, undeposited funds. Uncategorized asset is down here. I have to look for the undeposited funds. We've got a lot that I'm going to have to make inactive. But what I want you to do is continue to make sure we have the merchandise inventory. We have sales. Type is income. Detail type is sales of product income. So I'll help you with this. Sales. So we will go to income. We will show detail type is sales of product income. And we're going to put in here sales, account 401. We make that account 401. Okay, the other one it wants us to pay attention to is cost of goods sold. Supplies and materials is the detail, account 501. Cost of goods sold. How about cost of goods sold here? Materials and details. And this would be cost of goods sold 501. Okay. So I am going to just take a break here and make sure I have all of the accounts listed as need to be listed here. So as we continue on with chapter 2, we're going to go back to the chart of accounts, and we're going to make sure that our chart of accounts in QuickBooks is identical to this chart of accounts shown in the book. So I have gone to the prepaid insurance. I see that our computer equipment is shown as 135. Our accumulated depreciation, we need to show that as 137. So I'm going to go down here to accumulated depreciation, and we will highlight this, edit it to be account number 137. As we move on, we see accounts payable 201, loan payable 205. So accounts payable 201. We have our loan payable. Let's find our accounts payable. We're going to edit that to be 201. Our loan payable is at 205. Our common stock is 301. Our retained earnings is $318. We have our 318. We need to find common stock for 301. Find common stock. Here we go. I'll edit, put 301 in our common stock. Retained earnings, we have at 318. We have sales at 401. We have our sales there at 401. We have cost of goods sold at 501. There we go, right there. We have advertising and marketing at 601. Advertising and marketing, we'll edit that to make the number 601. Okay, then we have bank charges and fees, 605. Let's just see what that said. I believe it said bank charges and fees 603. So I'm going to create a new expense. Bank charges is the detail type. The detail type is called bank charges. So I might be getting a little too picky here, but let's try. And we're going to call this bank charges and fees. $603. Dues and subscriptions, 605. We've got that. Depreciation expense, 607. We have that. Freight and delivery, 609. We've got that. Insurance expense, 611. So, don't think I see that. Insurance expense, yes, we've got insurance expense, and that is insurance expense under insurance 611, insurance expense 611. Then interest paid is 613. Then we have job supplies, 615. So we'll go to new, expenses, supplies and materials, supplies and materials, and our name will be job supply 615. Then legal and professional services 617. So we'll go to new, expense, it's called legal and professional fees. This one says legal and professional fees. And we will put in here legal and professional services. $617. Meals and entertainment is $619. Entertainment meals. Entertainment meals. Office supplies and software, $621. So here we show general, office general administrative. And we'll call this office supplies and software. Then rent and lease, $623. Just make sure I have that right. Rent and lease, rent or lease of buildings. And we'll call this one rent and lease, $623. Next, repairs and maintenance, $625. We'll edit that. Repairs and maintenance, $625. Next, $629, stationery and printing. And that's at $629, that is correct. $633 is telephone expense. $633, we have that. And utilities expense is $635. Here, utility expense, we will edit to make that $635. So you want to make sure that you have the various accounts listed similar to this. Check that the chart of accounts includes these accounts also. The only ones I didn't look at, billable expense income, shipping income, let me just make sure. Billable expense income is in there. Shipping income is also in there. So if we're missing something, we can add it later because we know now how to add it. We've also included these 3 items. As you see here in Chapter 4, when products are added, these accounts will be used. The type and detail type columns are important. They classify the accounts for financial statements. Each account has a role to play in recording the amounts allocated for a specific use. As you see here, the QuickBooks Online integrates the chart of accounts into the balance sheet and into the profit and loss. Now, we know from our previous classes that all assets and liabilities are part of the balance sheet. And we know in the assets section, we always begin with banks, then we have current assets, other fixed assets, and then other assets. It's in a specific order due to liquidity. The same with the liabilities. We begin with the accounts payable, then we'll look at our credit cards, current liabilities, and then on the balance sheet, our long-term liabilities will appear after those in terms of liquidity when they are due. We also have guidelines for how we report expenses and income. So just know that QuickBooks has it set up that we report them accordingly. So asset, liability, and equity accounts include the position accounts for the company. A balance sheet report presents a snapshot of the company's financial situation at a moment in time. Expense and income accounts comprise the performance accounts for the company, and the profit and loss report shows that profitability during a time interval. Remember, guys, the balance sheet is just a snapshot at one point in time, and the next snapshot could be different. But a profit and loss is related to a over a period of time. Now, to save the chart of accounts as a PDF file, follow these steps. Hint, if needed, download the free Adobe Reader at the link right here. If your chart of accounts is displayed, click Run Report, or you can select the gear, the chart of accounts, and Run Report. So we can go to the gear, chart of accounts. Sorry, I have to look at that again. Is displayed, and then we run the report. Okay? So there's the specific accounts that we are going to use are in here. We may be inactivating or making as inactive the accounts we are not going to use, but we'll just see at a later time how we're going to handle that. Okay? The chart of accounts appears. Select Export to a PDF. So we're going to run reports. The chart of account appears. Click on the export icon. Here you see the export icon, and we will export to a PDF. Okay? You may notice differences on your account list. Match the account number, account names, type in detail with your account list. Accounts without numbers may be different. The description column is automatically added. At the bottom of the page, the print, email, and save as PDF pages appear. Select Save as PDF on the taskbar. Open account list as PDF. Save as PDF. Okay? If you want to open it, you're going to open it as the account list. Here you see. The account list is right here. Okay? You can close the account list. I'm just trying to figure out how to close it without shutting down my whole system, which I do quite often. Let me go back here. Okay, I guess what we'll do here, click on the Save As icon, go to the location where you want it to save, and use the file name Chapter 2 _ Chart of Accounts. So we will go over here and we will save it. As a PDF. And I'm just going to go to where I would like to save it. And it tells us I'm going to save it. Sorry, guys. I want to save it in Chapter 2 _ Chart of Accounts. So save Chapter 2. Well, it's already right there. _ Chart of Accounts. No, I don't want the CVS. I'm saving it as a PDF. So that's what I wanted. Okay, guys, we want to save it as a PDF here. Close the account list PDF tab by clicking on it. Let me get out of that. And there are 3 ways to display the chart of accounts. Using the gear, going to chart of accounts, the navigation bar, accounting, chart of accounts, the navigation bar, reports, and then in the search field, you would type the account list. The account list should be displayed on the export icon. Select Export to Excel. So we can, on the export icon, we can export this also to Excel. On the taskbar, open the Excel file, click Enable Editing. We'll enable our editing. Depending on your Excel version, steps may differ. File, Save As. Go to the location to save the file. We're going to click Save as Chapter 2 _ Chart of Accounts. So we're going to save this file as Chapter 2 _ Chart of Accounts. When through, you can X out of Excel. Okay. Let's see, that's just showing I can check your work. So this is basically just providing you with a little more information. If you set up your student name, sales, and service on a computer at school, but you want to continue work on another computer, but you want to use a QuickBooks Online, to use that QuickBooks Online, you need to be identified. The QuickBooks Online uses a verification code, so you can use it for authentication. Basically, when you go and you log in and you create your password, there will be a validation code that can be texted to you or could be emailed to you. So, no, you can email it or you can have it texted to your phone number. On a different computer, you're going to open the email account. Don't exit your email account. If you've accessed it on your email, then you're going to start a new tab and go into signing into QuickBooks. Okay? Again, you're going to have to verify your identity by that access code. As we move on, QuickBooks maintains a log of each financial transaction as it's added, changed, or deleted. So this audit log serves as an audit trail for you that lets you see exactly what changes were made and who made them. You can use the audit log to research changes made to individual or multiple transactions. Information includes the date of the change, the name of the user, the type of event, the name of a customer or vendor related to the change, and any original transaction dates and amounts. For most transactions or events, you can select View in the History column to open audit history, detailing changes to an individual transaction or event. Many accountants use the audit log to review activities of the clients. Okay, internal controls are used to check who is performing what tasks through QuickBooks. So in order to find this, you can go to the gear the tools list, and then find the audit log. So you can go to the gears, the tools list, and then the audit log. Okay? You can view the audit log in a couple ways. To limit the view to specific users, use dates and types of events. To do that, you can click Filter to use the dates and types of events. Okay, so I can pick just me. I could pick this month, and I could decide what types of events I want to look at. Okay. To limit the view to specific users or dates or types, we would filter it. And then to control which columns are shown, we would click the gear icon. To open a transaction, we click its link. To see a history of the event, we would select View over here. To view more events, we would scroll to Next. Okay. So once you're done with this chapter, you can then complete the review, and you can also complete the homework. So you see on the homework, you're going to add some new accounts, and then you're going to save the chart of accounts, export the chart of accounts, and you're going to check your various chart of accounts. Okay? And then you'll just continue with the various problems that are required for Chapter 2. So I hope this makes sense to you. Again, remember, we will be covering 2 chapters a week, so please give yourself plenty of time in order to complete them.